You're going to do a project about the silent film era.
Sorry, what? Like Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'll see what I can come up with.
No, I didn't do my project about Charlie Chaplin. My response to the ISTD brief, Silence is Golden, was a contemporary rendition of Dziga Vertov's film Manifesto, wee variant of a manifesto. This publication was designed for purchase at the Melbourne International Film Festival screening of Vertov's avant-garde documentary, Man with a Movie Camera. Upon purchase, the publication also comes with one of 3 A2 posters that commemorate Vertov's manifesto. This silent film celebrated modernity in the 1920s Russia without the use of intertitles or narrations. Through his radical experimentation, Vertov pioneered groundbreaking special effects such as jump cuts, split screens, and double exposure. Many of these post-editing techniques are still used in cinema today. In Russia, the era of silent films coincided with major social and political upheaval. In my research, I discovered that the Russian avant-garde creatives all shared common ideologies inspired by Italian futurism. They had visions of building a modern society and believed that they had to start with a clean slate. So they rejected all the art that reminded them of Russia's capitalist and Tsarist past. They wrote manifestos and used the Russian press as a vehicle to disseminate them. So in my research, I explored the question, how did Russian avant-garde and modernist typography evoke the dynamism of the modern age? Through the analysis of 40 historical artifacts sourced from the Museum of Modern Art, I found many graphic and typographic trends. The key trends that influenced my designs were their prominent use of primary colours, condensed sans serif typefaces, and a sense of dynamic movement in the compositions. When looking for typefaces for this project, I wanted a sans serif font that was bold, super angular, and followed the key trends that I found in the data. I found that many came close to what I wanted, but missed the mark. I guess if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. So for this project, I designed a bespoke typeface. To pay homage to the Russian silent film, I replaced the letters N, Q, R, and W with similar looking Cyrillic glyphs. These letter forms were not a fully working font, so I had to typeset every single letter by hand. It may have been tedious, but it mimics the way that many of the avant-garde designs would have been produced with letterpress printing. I took these letter forms and made them 3D to bring my own contemporary spin to this project. Through my analysis of his manifesto, I outlined 7 key phases of Vertov's writing. I strategically used pull quotes and colours to highlight the key messages in his manifesto, such as the explanation of kinochestvo, Vertov's name for his technique of filmmaking. The images were stills from the film that I run through a halftone filter to mask their low quality and to reference the way that artists like Vertov used the Russian press to disseminate manifestos. The publication measures 240mm by 317mm, larger than A4 but smaller than A3. The covers are 300 GSM silk stock with a layer of spot UV over the coloured elements to give the publication a more tactile experience. The inside of the book is printed on 128 GSM silk. This silk stock was chosen for its slippery texture, reminiscent of the texture of a film strip. The posters are printed on 150 GSM satin stock, as this gives them enough weight and durability to be displayed on interior walls. The satin stock has a light sheen, which is not too glossy that it's reflective, but not too matte that the posters seem flat or lifeless. Man with a Movie Camera. What once was an experimental cinematic art piece has forever changed the way that we tell stories on screen. To celebrate the era of silent films, wee variant of a manifesto reintroduces the beginnings of modern cinema to a contemporary audience with bold and bespoke industrial typography.